All right, so get ready, because today we're going deeper with Sun Tzu.
Oh, deeper.
Yeah, deeper than those motivational posters you've seen.
Oh, I see.
We're going to be exploring strategic dialogues.
Okay.
Not just like the famous quotes from The Art of War,
Right.
but we've got excerpts of actual conversations
Oh, wow.
between Sun Tzu and the Wu King
Interesting.
about real military dilemmas they were facing.
Cool.
And you know me,
Yeah.
I'm all about that practical wisdom that we
Right.
can use in any situation,
No,
right?
so you
Not
go,
just
right.
fighting wars.
Exactly. Most people, they treat the art of war like it's a rule book.
Yeah, like a playbook.
But these dialogues,
Yeah.
they show you how Sun Tzu is actually thinking.
Mm-hmm.
You see how he adapts to the situation.
So it's less about fixed rules.
Yeah.
It's more about the principles behind it.
Exactly.
That actually makes a lot of sense, because
Yeah.
how can you have like hard and fast rules in war?
Right.
It's chaos.
Always change.
Yeah, like you can't predict what's going to happen.
And we see that right away
Oh,
in
right.
the very beginning.
Okay.
The Wu King,
Yeah,
he questions Sun Tzu
he does. What's he questioning him about?
about an earlier assessment
Uh-huh.
of the city of Ying.
Okay.
They initially thought
So Ying was like
it
a...
was a strategic location,
Okay.
and they thought it was impenetrable,
Oh, interesting.
which turned out to be wrong.
Oh, so the king's kind of calling him out on that.
Well, he's curious.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, hey, what happened there?
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a good.
That he felt like he could challenge Sun Tzu.
It shows a good dynamic between them.
Yeah. So what happened? How did Sun Tzu respond?
Well,
Did he get defensive?
no, not at all.
Okay.
Both Sun Tzu and Wu Zixu,
Okay.
another advisor,
Okay.
they pointed out that war, it's about seizing opportunities,
Okay.
not about sticking to some rigid plan.
I see.
They acknowledged that things happen, that you can't always predict.
You can't control everything.
Exactly.
So lesson one, even Sun Tzu knew that you can't control everything.
Right, but
He must have had some kind of frameworks.
yeah.
Otherwise,
Otherwise, it's just pure instinct.
yeah, it's just gut feeling. So what were his frameworks?
This is where his concept of different grounds comes in.
Grounds.
Grounds.
Okay.
Like, what do you mean by that? Like, battlegrounds.
You can think of it like the terrain of a situation,
Okay.
not just the literal battlefield.
So grounds, as in
Yeah.
understanding the nature of the challenge.
Yeah.
Not just the physical, like, landscape.
Exactly.
Okay, so give me an example.
So there's like dispersive ground,
What's that?
where the soldiers are really far from home,
Okay.
morale is low,
Makes sense.
and there he focuses on
Yeah.
consolidating your own forces,
Mm-hmm.
cutting enemy supply lines,
Uh-huh.
and choosing the right moment to strike.
Okay, I can see how that applies to,
Yeah.
like, a tough business negotiation.
Oh, yeah. Where you don't want to show weakness too early.
Right.
What are some other examples of this ground strategy?
Well, one that's always fascinated me
Okay.
is heavy ground.
Heavy ground.
Heavy ground.
So what's that like?
This is where your army is deep in enemy territory.
Oh.
Resources are stretched thin.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
That sounds like every entrepreneur's nightmare.
Yeah, and the temptation is to retreat.
Right.
Get out of there.
What does Sun Tzu recommend?
His approach is surprisingly bold.
Okay.
He says,
Yeah.
sustain your army
Uh-huh.
by plundering enemy resources.
Whoa. Using their stuff against them.
Turn their land against them.
So rather than just playing defense,
Mm-hmm.
you're using the situation to your advantage.
Right.
It's almost like resourcefulness
Yes.
is a mindset, not just logistics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this speaks to a bigger theme in Sun Tzu's thinking.
Okay, what's that?
The psychological aspect of warfare. He believed in winning before the battle even begins,
Oh, wow.
by breaking the enemy's will.
So demoralizing them before you even fight them.
Right.
Okay, now you've got me hooked.
Yeah.
Give me an example
All right, so
of this psychological warfare in action.
take encircled ground.
Encircled ground.
Encircled ground.
Okay.
You're trapped.
Uh-oh.
The enemy thinks they have you cornered.
All right.
Most commanders.
Yeah.
They'd be desperate to find an escape route.
I know I would.
Yeah, it's a terrifying situation.
Yeah.
But Sun Tzu's advice is counterintuitive.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
He says to block the escape routes,
What?
make it seem like there's no way out.
Well, now, why would you do that?
That's the brilliance of it.
Okay.
By doing this,
Yeah.
you force your own soldiers to unite.
So they have no choice but to fight.
They fight with the desperation of cornered animals.
Oh, wow.
At the same time,
Right.
the enemy,
Yeah.
seeing you trapped, they
Yeah.
underestimate you.
Oh, they think you're done for.
Gives you an unexpected advantage.
So you're manipulating both sides' psychology,
Yeah.
making your troops more fierce
More fierce.
and the enemy overconfident.
Overconfident and lazy.
That's like playing 4D chess.
Right. Yeah. It's a classic example
It really is.
of disrupting expectations.
Yeah.
And using your opponent's assumptions against them.
Against them. Yeah.
And this theme of deception,
Okay.
this runs throughout Sun Tzu's work.
So it's not just about brute force.
Right.
It's about...
It's about mental agility.
Yeah.
It's about outmaneuvering your opponent psychologically.
almost like you said before about adaptability.
Yeah.
Thinking on your feet.
And this brings us to another
Okay.
crucial element.
Lay it on me.
The 6 virtues of a general.
6 virtues.
6 virtues,
Okay, tell me more.
which Sun Tzu outlines in these dialogues.
So it's not just about like military skill.
It's about character.
Okay.
It's about who you are as a person.
I'm really intrigued by this.
Yeah.
What are these virtues?
All right, so
Yeah.
he lists wisdom,
Okay.
benevolence,
Benevolence. Okay.
respect,
Mm-hmm.
trustworthiness,
Mm-hmm.
courage,
Courage. Okay.
and strict discipline
Strict discipline. Got it.
as essential qualities for any leader.
Okay. And how do they go beyond just being a good military commander?
Well, think about it.
Yeah.
Wisdom
Yeah.
for making sound decisions.
Okay.
Benevolence for uniting your team.
Mm-hmm.
Trustworthiness for building confidence.
Makes sense.
These are fundamental for
Yeah.
any leader in any field.
Could they apply to like someone like me?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, they're not just for generals.
So even if I'm not leading an army,
Right.
these virtues can help me be a better
A better manager.
manager,
A better entrepreneur.
a better entrepreneur.
Even just a better person in your everyday life.
It's like a framework
It's a framework.
for personal growth as much as leadership.
That's the beauty of Sun Tzu's work.
Yeah.
It's about understanding human nature and navigating complex situations.
Right.
Regardless of the context.
You know, there's one part of this text
Oh, yeah.
that I'm a little hesitant to ask about,
Okay.
but it's just too interesting to ignore.
What is it?
Sun Tzu's predictions.
Oh, right?
Sounds almost mystical.
It does sound a little...
Like, is he suggesting we start consulting the stars
No, not exactly.
before making decisions?
It's not about fortune telling.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
this section
Yeah.
where he talks about things like
The great
weather
presence-
signs
Weather signs. Okay.
and the behavior of troops
Okay.
as omens of victory or defeat.
Okay. So, like, if the troops are looking kind of scared,
Yeah.
maybe that's a bad sign.
But I think it's less about literal fortune telling
Okay.
and more about emphasizing the importance of
Yeah.
paying attention to subtle cues,
So being aware,
being aware of shifts in the situation.
that makes more sense.
It's like
Yeah.
reading the room,
Reading the room, yeah.
but on a grander scale.
On a grander scale,
Yeah.
so observing the signs.
The subtler signs that something is changing,
Even if, like,
even if the data isn't screaming it at you.
right, it's not obvious
Right.
in modern terms.
Yeah.
We might call this data analysis,
Yeah.
but with a more
Intuitive element.
intuitive element. Yeah.
Sun Tzu is urging us to not just look at the obvious,
Okay.
but to consider the whispers of change.
I love that.
Yeah.
The whispers of change.
That might be telling us to adjust our course.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
It's so true in our
Yeah.
data-driven world.
In our data-driven world.
Are we sometimes so focused on the hard numbers
Yeah. Are we missing something?
that we miss those?
Those subtler omens.
Yeah.
The things that don't fit neatly into a spreadsheet.
Right, they don't show up on the charts.
Right.
It's a question worth pondering.
I think so.
You know, this whole conversation has been
Yeah, it's been great.
so insightful.
I've enjoyed it.
We've covered adaptability,
Uh-huh.
terrain tactics,
Yeah.
psychology, leadership,
Mm-hmm.
even a bit of fortune telling.
A little bit.
But for someone trying to apply Sun Tzu's wisdom today,
Mm-hmm.
what's the key takeaway?
I think the core message is that
Oh.
Sun Tzu's dialogues,
Mm-hmm.
they offer a timeless framework
Okay.
for navigating challenges
Okay.
and seeking advantage
Mhm.
in any situation.
In any situation.
Okay.
It's about being adaptable,
Being adaptable. Okay.
reading situations accurately,
Okay.
and understanding the psychology of your opponent.
So whether that's a competitor in business,
Exactly.
a challenging coworker,
Yeah.
even just a personal conflict.
Any kind of conflict.
So it's like a masterclass.
Like a masterclass.
A strategy for life.
Yeah.
Not just war.
Not just war.
It's about applying these principles
Yeah.
to achieve our goals.
Achieve your goals.
Protect what matters to us
Uh-huh.
and navigate the complexities of the world.
The complexities of the world.
With more wisdom and skill.
Exactly than you had before.
And remember, Sun Tzu believed in winning before the battle even begins.
That's right, he did.
That means being prepared,
Okay.
thinking several steps ahead,
Uh-huh.
and always looking for ways to disrupt expectations.
So it's not just about having a plan.
Right.
It's about constantly adapting and anticipating.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
never underestimate the power of deception.
Oh, that's right.
Ethically applied, of course.
Of course, ethically applied.
To gain an advantage.
Like those blocked escape routes.
Exactly.
Brilliant in concept,
Yeah.
but maybe not the best approach
Probably not.
for a family argument.
No.
But the underlying principle
Yeah.
is still there.
It's about thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
Finding creative ways to shift the balance of power
In your favor.
in your favor.
This has been eye-opening.
I'm glad.
I feel like I'm seeing the world
Yeah.
and even my own challenges
That's great.
with a whole new level of strategic awareness.
I like,
What's one final thought you would leave our listener with?
let me think.
Something to really chew on.
I think it comes down to this.
Okay?
Sun Tzu urged
Yeah.
thinking of strategy with the urgency of hunger.
Urgency of hunger.
What in your life
Yeah.
requires that level of focus and adaptation?
That's a good question. It's powerful stuff.
It is.
It's so easy to get comfortable, you know?
Yeah, to just coast.
To just go through the motions.
Especially when things are going well.
Yeah. But Sun Tzu's reminding us that
Yeah.
whether it's on a battlefield or in our daily lives, strategy requires constant vigilance
You always have to be paying attention.
and a hunger
A hunger to succeed.
to succeed. Yeah.
It's true.
And it's not about winning just for the sake of winning.
No, it's not about ego.
It's about using these principles to achieve what you want to achieve.
To get what you want out of life.
Yeah, to protect the things that are important to you.
Exactly.
It's about navigating this crazy thing we call life
I like that.
with more wisdom and skill than you had before.
That's what it's all about.
You know, we often think of strategy as something cold and calculating.
Yeah, like a game of chess.
But what I'm getting from these dialogues is that
Yeah,
Sun Tzu puts a lot of emphasis on things like respect and benevolence.
that's right.
It's not just about outsmarting the other side,
No.
but about leading with integrity
Mm-hmm.
and building strong relationships with the people around you.
That's a really crucial point.
I think so too.
True mastery.
Yeah.
It isn't about manipulation.
Or be ruthless.
It's about understanding human nature,
Understanding people.
both your own and that of others, and using that knowledge
Yeah.
to create positive outcomes.
For everyone involved.
Ideally, yes.
So it's not just about winning a battle,
Right.
but about winning in a way
Yeah.
that leaves everyone in a better place.
Even your opponent.
Even your opponent.
Sometimes
Sometimes, yeah.
it's about finding solutions that create value, not just for yourself, but for the people around you.
It's a win-win.
Sometimes that means knowing when to compromise,
Okay.
when to negotiate,
Right.
and when to seek common ground.
This has been an incredible deep dive.
It has been fun.
I feel like we only just scratched the surface
There's always more to learn.
of Sun Tzu's wisdom. But even just these glimpses have given me so much to think about.
It's a journey.
It really is.
And the beauty of Sun Tzu's work
Yeah.
is that it's endlessly relevant.
It's timeless.
The specific tactics he describes might change over time,
Of course, times have changed a lot.
but those underlying principles
The principles
of adaptability,
Oh.
psychology,
and leadership.
those remain timeless.
So to our listener out there,
Yeah.
whether you're a CEO
Student,
or just someone trying to figure out this crazy thing called life,
we've all been there,
take Sun Tzu's wisdom to heart.
is good advice.
Read the situation.
Know yourself.
Understand your opponent.
And never stop learning.
And maybe most importantly, approach the challenges in your life
Approach them.
with the urgency of hunger.
That's how you win.
That's how you achieve true mastery.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.